We're live. And we're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. Are we live? Let's see. Come into the room, the Dreamcatcher room. Come into the room, the Dreamcatcher room. Come on in. Where you from? Let me know in the comments as we wait for people to come on in. I just want to make sure that I am good and I'm live. I'm excited for you guys to join me on tonight. We're gonna have a fun time. It's something different. Can you guys see me? Let me know. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Cause my body's in motion. No, for real. Can you guys hear me and see me? I should be. Yes, I think so. Can you hear me? Can you see me? I see that it's good. Well, I will. All right, good. Awesome. Yay. So just let me know in the comments that you can see me, that you can hear me. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Okay, I see Charlize Candy. Okay. I see Jocelyn. Yes. Let me tell you something. Kansas City in the house. Okay, Tanya Donetta. Okay, Athena Bailey. I'm gonna say Athelina. Well, here's the thing. You see how clear I am? Because a sister invested in an extension for the house so we could get some clear internet. Because remember, every time I go live, it'll be all pausing and freezing. It should not, or them people gonna have to come back and give me back my money. That's how much I love y'all. I invested in extension. Anyway, first, I just want to shout out my dream catchers and my dream builders. Um, you guys have been doing amazing. I've been in the group and I've seen so many of you guys are paying off debt. So many of you guys are buying homes. So many of you guys are starting businesses. So many of you guys are raising your credit score. I see you, boo boo. It's not even March yet. And y'all are out the gate. When I tell you, when I hear about the statistics about how people are not doing well financially or they're not responsible, whatever, I'm like, that's them over there. Because us right here, y'all are on top of it. So I just wanted to give you that kind of shout out because you guys have been doing an amazing, amazing job. And sometimes you guys ask me, who's a dream catcher? You are. You're right here. Oh, am I freezing again? Oh, you are a dream catcher. By nature of you being here, you are a dream catcher. Let me know if I'm frozen to you because I'm frozen to myself. And so, like I said, sometimes this be giving me trouble. Can you guys see me and hear me still? All right. So I want to get into why I brought you here tonight. Kabi, I see you. Michelle, I see you. Sylvia, if you are watching behind the scenes, can you let me know? Because like I said, I can't see myself. I just want to know before we really get started. If you just like slack me real quick, Sylvia, to let me know, am I frozen? Is it good? I don't know. I can't see myself. You can see me. Okay, awesome. Okay. Because for some reason it's frozen on my end, but it don't matter. It don't even matter what I see. It's what you see. So I brought you here today because I see the scary statistics of personal finance. And really what I've learned is that it all starts with the babies. Before we really get started, okay, there it is. It all starts with the babies. And what that means is that it's through children, and our children in particular, that you can change the trajectory of where we're going financially. And I wanted to model good behavior for you of how do you start teaching children as young as 3 years old age appropriate financial education. And one of the best ways is through story. And so I don't know if you know, but many of you do, that I was actually a preschool teacher for over 10 years. And then I became the Budgetnista for over 10 years. I have my master's in education. I actually helped to write a bill that's now a law in New Jersey called the Budgetnista Law A1414. And that law makes it mandatory for children to get financial education in middle school. And so I say all that to say I'm really serious about financial education and financial education for our children as well as you, the adults. And I feel like I've been working on y'all for like 10 years, and I wanted to also include your children as well, because that is really the only way we're going to change the landscape of how we are navigating with our money. So as a result of that, I've been working secretly, well, not so secretly, but secretly on a book, my first children's book. And it specifically teaches what I call age appropriate or foundational financial lessons for children as young as 3. Ideally, this book, Happy Birthday, Molly Moore, dun, 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 is for children ages 3 to 7. This is Molly. This is like literally like how I used to look when I was her age. She's 6 years old. See her little fro. That's what I mean. If my hair wasn't in locks, my hair was like this. So I really wanted like a little girl that's reflective of the little girl that I was learning about personal finance. That's her little bunny Winnie, because every little girl needs a sidekick to get her together. And in the book, you're gonna be seeing Winnie be giving side eyes, like, girl, that's what we're doing. Okay. So this book, Happy Birthday, Molly Moore, teaches age-appropriate financial education, but I'm not just going to tell you about it. I'm going to read it to you as preschool teacher Tiffany. Me. I'm a little rusty. It's been a minute, right, since I've been in front of a classroom. So I'm going to show you, you got to sit to the side. When I used to teach preschool, I used to be like, oh, look, little ones. Happy birthday, Molly Moore. But honestly, I'm going to read it to you, and then we're going to talk about how would this look like in your household? How do you extend financial lessons to your children? But so Molly Moore is, you might hear my husband laughing, he's watching the movie. Molly Moore is right now, there's a Kickstarter that is live, and we are trying to raise money because one disturbing thing that I found about children, especially children in low-income communities, is that they don't have access to quality books. And not having access to quality books is detrimental for a child. If a child grows up with parents, let's just say parents didn't finish high school, parents don't really have quite enough money to raise that child. There are a lot of things that can cause early educational trauma for a child. But did you know having books at home could not erase, but can help that child overcome those setbacks? And so when children don't have books at home, it's like a double whammy, you know? And so what I want to do with the Kickstarter is that when you order Happy Birthday, Molly Moore, the book for yourself and your child, I am able to give, you order one hardcover book, and I'm able to give a child in a low income community a softcover book. We're working with foster care. We're working with nonprofits like the United Way. We're working with local schools to give out books to children that might not otherwise have access. And something else that I noticed, so like I said, in the state of New Jersey, middle school, I wrote that law to make middle school mandatory for the state of New Jersey. Myself and Assemblywoman Angela V. McKnight worked on that law, but especially her, because she's an Assemblywoman. And we also have a law in the state of New Jersey for high school. And Angela and I are gonna go back for a law for elementary school. But what if you don't live in a state like that? So what I'm going to do also with the money from Kickstarter is I am going to use that money to hire additional financial educators like myself to create more curriculum, lesson plans, and activities and give it away. So you as a parent and educator, no matter where you live, you'll be able to go to the site, drop down menu, pick an age range, and download free financial education that you can then bring to the child in your life. So the book, the Kickstarter, is all at mollymore.com. We'll talk about that more later, but I wanted to read the book to you. So, happy birthday, Molly Moore. Let's read. So the way they send it to you, it's like, this is the proof. So the proof they give to you, I just want to give you a little caveat. The colors are not as bold as the real book will be, but I just want to let you know that. So happy birthday, Molly Moore, and it's in pieces. This is the title page, you know, just hang tight, hang tight. All right. I'm a little rusty. I'm a little rusty. Matter of fact, that should be on this side. There you go. There you go, Tiff. This is the side now. All right. Happy birthday, Molly Moore. And this is just like the dedication. I'd like to dedicate this book to the hundreds of children that allowed me to be their teacher. You taught me how to teach. I also want to thank my first teachers, my parents, Arandi and Sylvia Aliche. They're going to love that. All right. This is the character page. Like I said, it's a little duller. When they give you your proof, they don't like to do full color because they cheat. But you can see Molly, that's Molly Moore. You can see Winnie, that's her little bunny. You can see her brother Malcolm. You can see Dad and Mom, who looks a little bit like me and Gabrielle Union. And that looks like my husband. Obviously, we use ourselves as models. All right. So happy birthday, Molly Moore. All right. Molly Moore has hair like a cloud. Molly is fun, strong, smart, and proud. If you look closely, you can see Winnie, you can see that Dax hair grease, a comb, and a brush. So that's Molly getting her hair done. It's Molly's birthday, and she's excited. Her friends and family are all invited. Her guests want her to be jolly. Can you guess what they'll bring Molly? Can you guess? So this is Molly getting ready for her birthday in her room. See Winnie looking at her like, you cute girl. You cute. What are they gonna bring Molly? Gifts, right? See, look, young brother with a fade. He came with his Mylar balloons. Okay. This is a cherry blossom tree. This looks like Newark, New Jersey, where I live. So I wanted to make sure it felt like real. So they're bringing her gifts. 1 bike, 2 bows, 3 books, and 4 cats. 2 cars, 4 phones, 6 socks, and 8 hats. So this is an opportunity for children to count. And then it rhymes. Rhyming is also a pre-financial lesson. And so like you see, we have them all laid out here specifically. And then look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8. Math lesson, math lesson. Each time a new guest comes to the door, more, says Molly, more, more, more. Gifts keep coming, like 1 drum and 2 dolls, 3 shirts, 4 pants, 5 bats, and 6 balls. Again, all laid out so kids can easily count. You can point to the number and pick it. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I put them in order on purpose. Each time a new guest comes to the door, more, says Molly, more, more, more. If you look closely, Molly is getting more and more excited about presents and not about family and friends. Uh-oh, Molly, look. And look at Winnie like, girl. 4 dogs, 3 chairs, 2 boats, and 1 broom. So many gifts, there is no more room. See Molly? Oh, Winnie's like, girl, But Molly is having a time, honey. She's like, all I need is me and my presents, okay? But each time a new guest comes to the door, more, says Molly, more, more, more. This is the pinnacle, where she is like, presents mean everything, everything. We've been there before, right? A little greedy. The more she takes, the less family can fit. Each gift leaves no space for a friend to sit. So if you look closely, grandma and grandpa are like, girl, Winnie is hiding. And what's so cute is this is another little observational tool for your child, is I hid Winnie. Well, not always hid her, but she's on every page or every scene. And so finding the bunny Winnie is also good. But you see Molly has her back to everyone. You see this little girl here is like, can we go outside because Molly don't want to hang with us. Look, unicorn squad. So this is a great example of like, you can ask your child right here what's happening. You can ask them to count gifts. Remember, financial education for little ones is also about sharing less, more. This is one of my favorite pictures because look at her little face. Molly has gifts more than she can handle. So look at Molly. She's got gifts. If you know, the unicorn is like my thing. I call my team the unicorn squad. So it's a little nod to them. But no one to help blow out her candle. See, everyone has now gone outside to play, while Molly is left inside to blow out her candle by herself. That is an amazing lesson to teach children about what it means, if you start to put things over stuff, right? And then, sorry, I should have read this part. This time a new guest comes to the door, more, says Molly, more, more, more. So how is she going to be different now, right? So Molly, is she going to make different choices? I'm talking you through the way I would talk through like a child, as if I was reading it to preschool. Look at Molly. More family, more friends, more hugs and more kisses, more laughter, more sunshine, and more birthday wishes. Peep her t-shirt. Yo, sis got on the Dreamcatcher t-shirt. Look at TT, right? And Tio. And look, instead of she avoided the presents and went in for a hug, right? I'm gonna read that again. More family, more friends, more hugs and more kisses, more laughter, more sunshine, and more birthday wishes. So Molly's made her choice. Look what's happening here. So Molly gives some of her presents away to help others smile when it's their birthday. So her and Malcolm, her little brother, or if you notice in the book, she has multiples of a lot of presents. So she and her brother are packing some of those things up. Now, what do we have here? Having more stuff is not always the best. Sometimes more stuff really means you have less. So you see Molly is packing, this is literally what my car looks like. Molly's packed up the car, packed up the car. Forest Hill, that's where I live in Newark, the community center. They are clearly going to be donating some of these toys. It's a great time to talk about what is a donation? What does giving look like, right? Giving can mean more, and so can sharing. What will you do to show that you're caring? And so Mom, Dad, Malcolm, Molly, she's giving away some of her toys. Look, a little chocolate baby, a little Asian baby, little Spanish baby, right? A little white baby, enjoying Molly's toys at the local community center. So here's a great space for you to ask your reader about what does giving and donating look like, and can they do that? And look here, in the back of the book, there's a letter for adults that just says, like, thank you for reading, that I aligned this book with federal and state standards for education, that here are the 4 learning categories broken down by classroom: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So I'm going to show you. Here is the extend the lesson questions. So I, as a teacher, know that you might not know how to effectively extend the lesson. So I've given you not only the questions, but I've also given you how. Like here it says, make sure to use your reader's name when you read these questions out loud. Example, Malcolm, why was Molly alone when it was time to blow out her candle? Why? And so I have broken down how you can make that a reading lesson, how you can make that a writing lesson, how you can make that a listening lesson, and how you can make that a speaking lesson. So I've given you 2 questions, and I have more questions that will be coming on mollymore.com. And then it's not just enough to talk about it, we gotta be about it. This is extend the lesson activities. So for example, one of the activities, ask your reader to help clean up their room/classroom, make a pile of the items they can donate to other children, have them help you choose an organization to donate to. So here is a physical extension of the lesson. And then of course, if you want to keep up with Molly. So like I said, mollymore.com, which is right up here. The Kickstarter is currently running. And yeah, I'm excited about it, And it's just like a teacher, you can extend the lesson. Yeah, I love seeing the teachers in here, right? Love seeing the teachers in here. Oh, if you have not shared, did I tell you how to share this? If you have not shared this video, because you can go, I'll be always able to watch the recording later, please share, please share, please share. I think it's important that we make it a priority to teach our kids financial education in a way that's age appropriate. I love seeing all the teachers in the comments like, yes, girl, age appropriate, right? Wasn't that age appropriate? Like I said, I have my master's in education. I have been a teacher for over 10 years, and I've been a financial educator for over 10 years. So this is something that is not new to me. That is not new to me, that I'm super passionate about. I just think that financial education is something that should be mandatory. And so here's what I want you to understand about financial education for little ones as young as 3 to 7 years old. That one of the reasons, so I was really mindful of all the things. Like, for example, when I listed out, like even the way the illustrator, I didn't obviously illustrate the book, but like even the fact that it rhymes, it's Molly's birthday and she's excited, her friends and family are all invited. That is rhyming, rhyming is rhythm. It's Molly's birthday and she's excited, her friends and family are all invited. Because here's the thing, if a child can keep a rhythm, a child can count, right? Boom, boom, is 1, 2, 3. So you can go from rhythm to counting. If you can start to count, then you can start to identify numbers. If you can start to identify numbers, then you can start to add and possibly subtract, right? And if you can start to add and possibly subtract, then we can start talking about money and less is more, And then once we start to do that, then we can start to talk about giving and sharing and donating, that all of these what are seemingly simple skill sets really build upon each other to what becomes a more robust, financial like vocabulary for children. And so I think that stories are one of the best ways to teach children. When I used to teach, there used to be certain books that I would read to help kids get acclimated to preschool when I was teaching. And it really helped children to see outside of themselves, because kids are super self-centered like adults, but especially children are super self-centered, not selfish, but self-centered, meaning that they don't fully understand that there's a world outside of them just yet. And so they don't see themselves as we see ourselves as part of a greater whole, but they can enjoy outside people and learn their lessons. Like, I wonder why Molly would do that. And then it helps to ingrain like, is that something that I do? Like Molly doesn't have any friends, or Molly, everybody was outside. Is that why Jeremiah didn't want to be my friend today? Do you see? And so I thought about things like that. And even the way, for example, in the book, things are laid out. So I'm showing you through the book, but you can do this in your own life. Like if you're laying out things so they're easy to see and to count. So like, you know, these pages where I list all the gifts: 1 bike, 2 bows, 3 books and 4 cats, 2 cars, 4 phones, 6 socks and 8 hats. Well, now you could talk about 1, 2, 3, 4 and start counting. But then you can also talk about counting in even numbers because it's 2, 4, 6, 8. And then really specially, you can say, let's count. How many hats do we see? How many socks do we see? How many bows do we see? Then you can also talk about, does she need 4 cats? Does she need 8 hats? What could she do with some of those things? Do you see how you can extend that lesson? And so I was just, like I said, I was really mindful in all aspects of Happy Birthday, Molly Moore. It's not a book for girls. It's not a book for boys. It's a book for children. That's why I added her little brother in there. I recently found out that Molly's name, which I'm super excited about, means wealth in Swahili. So if you would like to grab a copy of Happy Birthday, Molly Moore, if you go to mollymore.com, so it's like this, Molly Moore, 10 MALIMORE, mollymore.com. There's a Kickstarter going on, but you can choose a reward tier that includes the book, and it includes some other swag to go along with it. But I want to take some of your questions about financial education for children. It's just something that, you know, really started to like dedicate, you know, my other half of myself, because I dedicate half of myself to you guys and adults, and especially women getting on financial track. But now I want to make sure that you have the tools to make sure your babies get on financial track as well. So it's mollymore.com. Can someone type that in the comments for me? It's also in the description of this video, but if someone could type that in the comments for me, mollymore.com, because sometimes there's always someone who adds an extra O or whatever, but it's MORE. So yeah, let's take some of your questions. Let's see. I'm gonna take some of your questions that might pop up. What would you do for a Klondike bar? I don't know why it just came to me. It's also in the description of this video. Let me turn off my sound. Okay. This will help with recall. Yes. Oh, Sandra, are you a teacher? She said this will help with recall. Yes, this will definitely help with recall as well, because recall and memory are important aspects for children to learn. So yes, what I love about Happy Birthday, Molly Moore, is your kid is not just going to get financial education lessons. They're just lessons across the board. There's reading, there's speaking, there are letters, there's recall, there's memory, there's so many lessons, you know, but I made sure to really to ramp it up as it relates to pre-financial education lessons. Okay. Yes, 26 years. Yes, Sandra. And I know, how old were the kids that you taught? So yes, I would love the teachers in here, like putting their 2 cents in, because it makes me feel good, because it's been a long time since I've been inside the classroom. So I'm like, am I doing it right? You know, do I did a good job? Because sometimes I would read certain children's, like in No Shade, I would read certain children's book, and I would ask myself, especially when I was a teacher, did a teacher have a say in this? Because there's some things here that I don't think are age appropriate, although it might be a great story or a great visual, but maybe the story itself wasn't age appropriate, or if the pictures had been laid out differently, it'd be easier for kids to navigate. Because ultimately what you really want is for a child to pick up a book on their own and to go through it. My niece and my nephew were just here earlier, and I was watching my nephew. I have all these books down here, like I have a little like area for them to play, and he was pulling out books and he was reading them to his teddy bear. And I said, do you want Auntie to read? He said, no. But I was watching to see which books that he picked up. Vibrant colors, like I said, this is the proof, so they didn't give me the vibrant colors in the proof. But vibrant colors caught his eye. Books that he could hold open, books that he could remember the words to, right? Oh, pre-K, yes, 13 years. Like each time a new guest comes to the door, more, says Molly, more. That's a chorus in the book on purpose, because kids need some autonomy when it comes to books. They need to feel like they have some level of control. Like my niece is over here today, she's 2. And her mom was like, Amelia, did you keep on yourself? She's pulling back her pants and looking inside her little behind. And I thought to myself, kids, that's their life when they're little. It's like everything belongs to someone else, it feels like. But when you have a book where there's maybe a chorus or rhyming words, it gives you the ability to anticipate a word. It gives you the ability to participate. Because can't you just see, like by the time it gets to the 3rd time of me saying it, right? Each time a new guest comes to the door, And they're like, more, says Molly, more, right? That's going to happen because I intentionally put that course in the book to give kids the opportunity to participate, you know? And yeah, yes, vibrant pictures also assist in learning delayed kids. Oh, yes, Xavier. Thank you so much. Like I said, that they gave me the proof they gave me. The pictures are very vibrant. The proof, when they give you a proof, they don't like to waste money on the ink, quite honestly. And so it's more similar to this, like you see how vibrant, and I didn't know that. And I love that vibrant picture, that it really assists learning delayed kids. I love that. Thank you, Xavier. Yes, you hear lots of vocabulary words. Yes. Oh, you guys just make my heart sing, honestly. Rhymes, songs work with young kids, especially interactive books. Yes. And looking at the bunny, it's like, where's the bear? Great strategy, right? So Tiana is, I'm assuming you're educated by the way you're talking, right? And you guys are like, honestly, if you look at the teacher comment, I'm not gonna lie. The rest of y'all, I love y'all, but nothing makes me feel better than a teacher or a former teacher being like, yes, girl, I see you. Cause I'm like, right? We read books sometimes, you're like, what is this? I see where you're going, but this don't make no sense. But I really wanted to make sure that like all the things that I was like were missing from some of the children's books that I used to read, because I've read hundreds, if not thousands of children's books. I wanted to make sure to infuse that into this book. I was really careful. I really wanted, because I know kids are like, they love some animals, right? And also too, I used to notice, because I taught in Newark, that kids would be looking, they love to see another child's face, you know, especially a child's face that was similar to their own. Like they would look and be like, like Amelia, my 2-year-old niece, is like, Molly, because she's chocolate just like Molly. So looking at another little baby's eyes and animals and of course presents. So I'm telling you, I was mindful of all the things. I wrote this book at least 15 years ago in my head, wrote it down on paper, maybe 10 years ago, started working on it 5 years ago. And for 3 years straight, I have been working on it almost daily. That is how this small little book, almost daily. Like I said, if you want a copy of this life's work, it's mollymoore.com. The Kickstarter is still active in life. And even if the Kickstarter isn't active in life, it is. So you don't have to worry about it. It's Molly, M-A-L-I, more.com. If someone can type that for me, mollymoore.com. Yes, it's important to learn to share and care about others. I don't think people understand that sharing and caring is also a pre-financial education lesson. It is. Caring, giving, donating. These are foundational lessons for finance. It is the reason why we are in the state that we are in now as adults, because people don't care and share enough for others. People don't donate enough, you know? And so, yeah. How long I've been in Newark? Tiana, I've been in Newark. I taught in Newark. I started teaching here I'm 40 now. So when I was 22 or 23, and I've lived here now since I was 33. So 7 years living here, but I was born here in Newark. 7 years living here, but I taught here for 10 years before I finally moved here. Yes, mollymoore.com. Brain growth on steroids, yes. Representation, yes, to affirm. I went from yay, Xavier. I'm telling you, go to mollymoore.com and get to a book. That's why I wanted to read it, because I'm like, there's no gotcha. I'm like, I want you to see. I want you to see inside the book, to know that like all the work and the love that was put in. I didn't even show you guys the back cover. Like, how cute is the back cover? So I really wanted the back cover to be silly and fun. And so this is Molly, like it says future president. So her and Winnie making funny faces. I wanted to show you also too, her baby out, Paris, okay, Black Families Travel. And this is her reading herself in front of her little house. And so I was really mindful to include all the things that I thought were missing: representation, financial education, just all the things. It's possible to fit it all in. And recently I found out a woman wrote me on Instagram like a week or so ago, and she said, I'm from Kenya. Do you know what Molly means? My husband is laughing. Do you know what Molly means? In Swahili? And I did not. I was like, no, I knew Mali is an African country. And she said that Mali means wealth. My mind was like, no, that Mali means wealth. And I thought, that is amazing. And instantly I knew the second book that I'm starting writing right now. The second book, Molly's going to ask her mom or her dad, what does Molly mean? It's going to be called, What Does Molly Mean? And she's going to learn that Molly means wealth. And then I am going to help you to teach the children in your life, what does wealth truly mean? So it'll be like, Molly means wealth. Wealth is hugs. Pictures of Molly getting hugs, right? Wealth is money. Wealth is giving. Wealth is sharing. Wealth is knowledge. Wealth is books. Well, so I really want to help to educate this younger audience about different ways that wealth expresses itself. It's not just money in the bank. It's a holistic view of wealth. So I already, when I tell you what she told me, that was like, what? That's the next book out next year. What does Molly mean? And Molly means wealth. And so I'm just like over the moon about the opportunity to blend these two important components of my life: financial education as a budgetnista, and Miss Tiffany, that's what the babies used to call me, and Miss Tiffany, the preschool teacher, to blend those two things seamlessly into something that I am so proud of. This is my baby right here that I'm so proud of. Let me see what else y'all talk about. So yes, does anybody have any questions? I see all the teachers in here. Honestly, like, it just makes my heart sing. I'm going to figure out a way, like I have in there, if you have the ability, I would love this. If you have the ability and you're watching, we do have classroom buys in the Kickstarter. So like you could order 30 books, I think for like, I want to say $500 for 30 books. And then you could pick the classroom that you want to send it to. So if you're someone who is like, I'd love to give in that way, you could pick the classroom that you want. So classroom buy, or if you don't know a classroom that you want to pick, I can certainly help choose a classroom. If you're a teacher watching, let your parents know, ask them to go to mollymore.com to order a book so they can donate to the classroom. That would be amazing. I really would love that, like, that Molly becomes commonplace, because what it really allowed, I think what I like is that Molly becomes the substitute for, we're not really talking about money. We're talking about Molly. Well, Molly does this. Well, remember Curious George when we were kids? Or Amelia Bedelia and her silliness. And so through those characters, we got to explore and learn. And so that's what I'm wanting, is through Molly, we get to say, well, Molly says wealth is hugs and books. And it's also money as well, Molly says that, it actually is better to share. So it's like we use her as a conduit for doing better, for seeing, making mistakes, seeing the error in our ways and doing better. And so yes, Molly for sure, the series. Oh, that's so awesome. You'll have a basket of Molly books. First of all, Becky, the fact you said a basket of books, let me tell you how I'm still a teacher. Can y'all see? She said a basket of books. It brought me back, y'all. Look at this. This is from my niece and my nephew's corner. They're 4, 2, and 4. Look at that. A basket of books. I am still a teacher. When they come in here, I'm like, I'm still Miss Tiffany. They have all their books in here and their toys in here. Look, yo, that's so crazy. You said a basket of books. You brought me all the way back to preschool days. Yeah, you can tell I still love teaching. I miss the babies, and they're so grown now. They're like teenagers, which blows my mind. Because I taught in Newark and I live in Newark, sometimes I'll run into them like at ShopRite or like out and about at CVS, or I'll run into their parents and they're like, do you know Nene is Shania now? She's 16. I'm like, please, girl, don't give me a heart attack. She's 16. She was 3 when I saw her last. And so I just love the fact that those little ones are out into the atmosphere and remembering the things that I taught. Because when my dad would always say, and I'll close on this, right? My dad would always say that you can take almost anything away from someone. You could take their money, you could take their possessions, you could take almost anything away from someone. But the one thing, once given, that can never, ever be taken is knowledge. That is the one thing that can never be taken. And so you as teachers, as parents, as educators, as aunts and uncles and grandma and grandpas, once you embed knowledge into the children in your life, know that is the gift that can never be taken, no matter where they go in the world, no matter what they do, no matter where they find themselves. If you embed knowledge into a child, it is a gift that sticks with them forever. And it's why I love teaching so much. It's why I created Happy Birthday, Molly Moore. It's why I teach y'all, not just the babies, but y'all too, that I know once I give you that nugget, it don't go nowhere. You might not use it right now. You might put it away, you might ignore it, you might la. But once I give you that nugget, that's right here with you. And that one day when you need it most, you're like, Tiffany did say I should budget, and here's how. Once you really have knowledge ingrained in you, it is yours forever to keep. And so, yay. How about, yeah, Curious George is definitely a throwback. What? Amelia Bedelia used to be my jam, okay? I used to love me some Amelia Bedelia. Berenstein Bears, okay? Molly Moore's about to be one of them classic books. Like, right? Before we get off, let's share your first favorite classic. So I used to love Berenstain Bears. I loved Amelia Bedelia. I love Curious George. I'm trying to think what books else, what other classic. Like now, like I love Eric Carle now, but I feel like I didn't have Eric Carle when I was a kid. The Eric Carle books were more so when I taught preschool. I love those for the kids. I'm trying to think what books I grew up loving. Oh, I love Clifford the Big Red Dog. Some classics. Yes, share your classics with me. Like I'm trying to think like what other classic books that we all kind of grew up with that were like life changing and the reason why we're here now. When I was older, I loved the American Girl collection. Ramona, yeah, girl, yes, I loved Ramona. You know, yes, I love Barney. Oh, Sandra, okay, Barney. Yes, I didn't grow up with Barney, but like, well, I think I was like in high school. Yes, Clifford, right? That Clifford the Big Red Dog was what, and the man it was. I'm trying to think. No, the man with the yellow hat there was a guy that used to have like this. Remember hats for sale? I forget his name. There used to be some American Girl Felicity. Yes. Babysitters Club. Yes, that was my jam as well. My favorite girl for American Girls was actually Molly, Molly. She was my favorite. And I also like Samantha because she was bougie. Green Eggs and Ham, Dr. Seuss was all of our jams. Family Circus, okay. She said, you never wanted to be a teacher, but you love teaching. I love teaching too. Arthur, yes, Arthur was definitely the jam. I'm trying to think like there's so many amazing books that shaped our lives. And we get the opportunity to make Molly Moore back one of those books. Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, yes, I love that too. You said your kids love Green Eggs and Ham, so did I. The first book I ever learned to read was A Dozen Dogs. I don't know who wrote it. I think it was just one of those basic readers. And I remember to this day, two dogs going to the beach. 1, 2 come along, one black dog, one white dog, one skinny dog, one fat dog. Boom. To this day, yo, I was like 5. I remember. Let's make Molly that for someone else. But they're like, oh, I remember each time a new guest comes to the door, more says Molly, more, more, more. I want a 50-year-old, but like 50 years from now saying that, right? Judy Blume books would definitely, oh yeah, Busy World, Richard Scary, Cat in the Hat. All right, y'all. This is a trip down memory lane. Thank you so much. If you have not shared the video, please do so. They can watch the replay later. I'm just grateful to have this awesome like team and tribe around me, dream catchers and dream builders, and how much you allowed me to pour into you and how much you pour right back into me. I just want to end on that I'm just grateful for you, honestly. Like to be able to give for a living is like the best thing ever. The best thing ever. All right, good night, y'all.